tunnel, James was enjoying a rest. Then Sir Topham Hatt came to see James. "You ought to take a freight train to the yard," he said. James was cross. He wanted to get his coal job over with. He grumbled all the way. One moment, James was on the rails. The next, he came off the rails and into some water. Oh, what will Sir Topham Hatt say when he sees what's happened here? He asked himself. He found out soon enough. "James, you should learn to be more careful. You have caused confusion and delay," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Sorry, sir," James said. "After you have been mended, you will stay in your shed for the rest of the day." After the freight car that stayed on the rails was gone, James was put back on the rails. He was shunted to the works by Percy. James remained in his shed for the rest of the day, a sadder but wiser engine. Let's hope he starts thinking about what he did. Don't you? Don't Be Silly Billy 3. One day, Donald was with Thomas and Percy in the yard. "I hear from ye Thomas about an engine called Billy," said Donald. "Correct," said Thomas. "He will be scrapped sometime." Donald gasped. "Don't mention that word. It makes me wheels wobble." "It does the very same to old Slowcoach," said Percy. "She was about to be scrapped, but Thomas and I saved her." That night, Donald took a flatbed to a faraway part of the island. He was about to go on his return journey when... "That sounds like a steam engine," he thought. The wheesh came again. "Who's there?" answered Donald. A whisper came.
Sir Topham Hatt's engine?
Aye, and proud of it.
Well, I'm Billy. I've been sent here to stay for an additional 2 days.
But what are you doing?
Escaping. From what?
Scrap. Donald shivered. Then he remembered Percy's story about saving old Slowcoach.
I'll be glad to help you. Since you are about to be scrapped, I'm taking you away.
Their drivers and firemen agreed to help too. Everyone worked fast.
No time to turn around. I'll run tenderfest. Come on.
But before they could leave, they were stopped. Aha! Called the foreman. An orange tank engine? You can't take that.
Aye, but they're all for us,
said Donald's driver.
See for yourself.
The foreman looked all over Billy. Seems to look good, said the foreman. Run along now. That was close. I know, said Billy, and they forged ahead. It was daytime when their journey ended.
"We home!" cried Donald.
"Shh," said his driver. "I see the works. We'll find a place for Billy." Billy said goodbye and thank you to Donald, and then he puffed off. Then Donald told Thomas, Percy, Duck, and James all about Billy. "Sir Topham Hatt might know this," said Thomas. "How will he find out?" said Duck. "What's all this about?" said Sir Topham Hatt. "I beg your pardon, sir. Donald did something to Billy," said James. "What did he do?" asked Sir Topham Hatt. "Donald saved Billy from scraps," added Thomas. "Yes, Donald, you did the right thing. For your heroism, you get a new coat of paint," said Sir Topham Hatt. Thomas, Percy, Duck, and James all cheered. Now Billy is mended and has returned to work. He and Donald often work together. Stephen to the rescue. One day, Harry and Bert were being incredibly rude to Stephen. "We'll give him some rest in a scrapyard," chuckled Bert. "He's a clanking machine," laughed Harry. The next day, Stephen rested in a siding when he saw Harry and Bert again. They were pulling a coal train. The troublesome trucks were behaving very badly. "Hold back," they giggled. struggled for a moment, and they ran out of fuel. "What do I see here?" laughed Stephen. "Two diesels stuck on the tracks?" Ari and Bert did not say a word. Stephen switched to Ari and Bert's track and was coupled up. He huffed and puffed, and the train was moving again. Stephen puffed in with Ari and Bert. Sir Topham Hatt was waiting for them. "Great efforts today, Stephen. You will get a new coat of paint," he said. "As for you two," he said, "I heard from James that you've been very rude to Stephen. He might be a clanking machine to you, but he's always apologetic whenever he makes a mistake and tries his best. For your punishment, you will be working in the coal mines with Willie after you've been refueled." And with that, Sir Topham Hatt went away. When Stephen arrived at the fuel depot, Ari and Bert apologized. "It's okay," he said. "Apology accepted." Stephen puffed away to collect his passenger train, leaving him knowing that he is a really useful engine. Fabian's new coaches. Percy was taking his coaches back to the yard. A new engine had arrived and he wanted to say hello. The engine looked smart with his yellow paint. "Percy, meet Fabian," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Hello, Fabian." "Hello, Percy." "Fabian, collect your coaches. You and your driver must learn the line." "Yes, sir," he said. Percy was amazed. Later, the only coaches Fabian's driver could find belonged to Percy. "These aren't your sort," he said, "but I suppose they're okay." The coaches felt sad. How dare he say we're okay? Fabian puffed carefully down the line. Then, Percy saw Fabian pulling his favorite coaches. "Hello, Percy," he called, but Percy was cross. "Those are my favorite coaches. Give them back!" But Fabian didn't hear Percy and went on his way. Fabian then passed James. Then he passed Henry. When Fabian whistled hello, the engines didn't whistle back. Fabian couldn't understand why they were so unfriendly. He was upset. Later, Sir Topham Hatt came to see Percy.
I want you to go to the docks to pick up new coaches.
New coaches? But sir...
Really useful engines don't argue.
Percy didn't want new coaches. He wanted his favorite ones back. When Duck saw Fabian return to the yards, he was surprised. Those are Percy's favorite coaches. So that's why he looked cross, explained Fabian. I'll go and apologize. Don't want new coaches, chuffed Percy. Fabian was still looking for Percy when a signalman flagged him down.
Duck hasn't cleared his signal box, he told Fabian's driver. Please go and see what's wrong.
Fabian could see that Duck had broken down on the crossing. Then Fabian heard a whistle.
Uh-oh.
Percy could see Duck. He knew he could never stop in time. Help! Fabian charged towards Duck. And with a huge effort, he pushed him off the tracks, just in time. Thanks. You're welcome. Later, Sir Topham Hatt praised Fabian.
Well done. You were a very brave engine.
The bravest, chuffed Duck.
It gives me great pleasure to present you with 2 new coaches.
Thank you, sir, replied Fabian. Percy, I'm sorry I took your favorite coaches. And I'm sorry I was so cross, replied Percy. Friends? Friends! Fabian loves his coaches, and being part of Sir Topham Hatt's railway.